The the evening has set about 2 hours ago in a small studio apartment on the northeastern edge of New Salem's downtown. A dreamer sleeps still, but not for long. In the landscape of the mind, the moon, to which this particular man seems more so tied than most others, sits under a very auspicious sky. A voice has come to him tonight, images. Well, today, and images. Many, many images. He does not fully understand in his dreaming state, much more than in his waking state. Stefan Braunfiedler. Dreams. The voice of Oceanment floods his mind as much as it would flood into his ears, through the canal and into the drum, and finally into the brain. The sensory input is staggering. The clarity is the likes he has never witnessed. He has never experienced this. It's almost lucid. As Oceanment speaks, something in Stefan knows. Truth. But what truth? These. He knows that this is a portent, but it's not a portent. No. It's a message. To understand its meaning is to understand something greater than man, woman, child. Canite. He does not know the meaning of this word. And then a vision comes to him. The dream shifts ever so slightly. He sees the vision, the image, what he knows is an extrapolation of Cain. Biblically, the first murderer. Son of Adam and of Eve. The image floods, or the image fleets his mind. And this other image he can't make sense of. The voice of Oceanment returns. Stefan heeds the warning. He knows He has to do something, but he does not know what. The image again in his mind switches as the voice speaks of potential doom, those who would lash out violently against the earthbound womb will suffer. The piles of bodies, many brandishing weapons of all kinds. Some he can recognize, others he does not. And yet, in this he feels as small as a child waiting to be born. Stefan still sleeps as he has always slept. Somehow, early this evening, he is aware, very aware, of how well he is sleeping. And yet at the same time, how much he is awake. Not seeing with his own eyes, not seeing with the organs that process visual input. Stefan's slumber becomes more restless. He tosses and turns more in his bed. Though he is not aware, pillows, blankets, sheets get torn from the mattress onto the floor in piles, 1, 2, and more and more. And just as suddenly, he wakes. He finds himself in his apartment. He sees the scattered blankets, sheets, pillows. He feels as though he has been sweating, yet no sign on his sheets, no sign on any of the bedding. He feels as though awaking from a nightmare. A cold sweat. He feels as though he has just sat upright, but in truth, he quickly realizes he's still laying down. He cannot move. He sees the last image. Strange man. The eyes of the man seem to be peering through Stefan, as though looking into his soul, his very essence. He hears the warning of Hashem. He remembers sudden flash of his primogen, Celine. Image of the General Lothario. Many, many others. He remembers the warning. He struggles against the feeling of incapacitation, trying to will himself continuously over and over and over, trying to get his limbs to move, trying to will them out of this feeling of atrophy. After some time, he does. He looks at the clock that he has hanging on the wall. He cannot believe what he's seen. How could he be awake at this still early hour? 7 p.m. the clock reads on the dot. As if something willed him out of slumber, as though something had shaken him violently. He feels unsteady, groggy, as somebody who has either slept too much or not slept enough. But after some time, Stefan wills his limbs to move, his muscles to move. And he crawls out of bed, goes over to his bookcase, and pulls a fresh journal, one he has had on the bookshelf for some time. No entries lay in the pages. Goes over to the armchair in a comfortable sitting area. Rubbing his feet a little bit, ever so slightly, on the roll-out carpet, placing a pen, the journal, on the small table, tall enough to ride on, tall enough to perhaps play game of chess, large enough to do so. But no, for this, he uses this table as a writing desk. First words on the page. What harm is there in dreams? What dreams mean? Stefan sits back, concentrating, trying to remember, willing the VTMYTE to refresh the memories of the dreams earlier, willing the images and sounds and sensory input to come back to him. Make a Again, it takes him some time, reaching out to the blood, the VTMYTE in his veins, throughout his body. He calls to it over and over and over and over again. Show, Show me, show me, show me, show me. Refresh my mind. He says this like a mantra. Eventually, the sounds, the images, the feeling, the emotion all come back to him as he records nightmare, dreamscape, his slumber in the journal from start to finish. The words of Ojemnit, the warning of Ojemnit, the hospitality of Ojemnit, all recorded, everything in immaculate detail, as best as Stefan can. He sits recording every single thing he can, every detail as much as possible. And as he does, he feels as though he's being watched. He's always had this feeling. Standing at the mouth of an alleyway, you can see black wings, and eyes. It's the eyes of the creatures, birds, a pair of eyes, looking at him from the other end of the alley, knowing his mind, knowing his soul, knowing his muse. The two culminate into one and step into a shape. Symbol is unfamiliar to him, but he gazes into the eye. And for once in his life acknowledges his sins, acknowledges his mistakes, and begs the eyes for forgiveness. But there is none. The eye stares back at him from the shape, coldly. He gets this feeling of no emotions contained. He continues to record as the eye, ever watchful, stands as a sentinel above him.